Aloha family, happy Sunday. It's a little rainy here in Pahoa. Just waiting for the weather to clear out before going to the beach today. And I just wanted to give you a quick I love you and talk a little bit about being authentic. Being authentic comes from being truthful. If we are truthful with ourselves and others, then there's no reason to fear, and then we can transcend fear quickly once it happens. And so if we're authentic to who we are, if we're treating ourselves right, if we're treating others right, then we don't have to avoid other people or dip outside of our normal flow because maybe we run into someone that we weren't truthful to, or that maybe we did something. It's okay in life. We learn. And the most important thing that we can do to change that vibration is actually to communicate with that person. If something happened to you or you did something to someone else that you don't feel good about, and you see this person, you avoid them, or they call and you don't answer, that's a vibration that just doesn't feel good. It actually holds us back from manifesting properly because that is stuck. So cutting energy cords a lot of the time can come in two ways. Just absolutely surrendering and just letting it go and not caring anymore, making the amends within oneself, or communicating with the person and letting them know that, hey, life happens and things go south sometimes and not the way we planned. And but I love you and let's see eye to eye. That is how we learn to communicate. That is how we learn to be authentic to ourselves. And that's how we also engage in community at a higher vibration. Because yes, part of us is being a human. And what that means is to learn about life, to learn through the mistakes that we make. Therefore, they're not mistakes. They're just lessons. So how the energy that we receive from other people is largely based on the energy that we put out. So if you find yourself arguing with a lot of people, if you find yourself complaining about people and things like that, and maybe instead of looking on the outside world, take a look in the mirror, because I find with myself, I treat people the way I treat myself, not how I want them to treat me. That's the number one thing that changes. And then the other thing is I recognize that if someone has an issue with me, it's their own issue, because I don't walk in a light of being rude or crappy to people or doing things in a dirty way or whatever. Now, that's not to say I haven't. I've learned in my life. I'm still learning and things still come up and happen. But for the most part, I feel like I'm really authentic in who I am because of how I treat myself. It doesn't, once I change the reflection of not basing my energy and my reaction off of someone else, then I was able to change my frequency with other people. So now it's I just engage when it feels good, and I just send out love, and I just I am authentic in who I am. And let me tell you, just like the ocean tides and the signal from each sign in the sky based on the moon, we change who we are every 2.5 days, literally, when we change into a different sign, getting that signal from the moon. So it's just recognizing that we have a lot of different personalities and how we engage with other people and all of their personalities. And so, it just becomes this energetic dance of feeling good and then shifting when it doesn't. Because we don't get yummy with everybody, Not everybody feels good to us, and that's okay. We don't have to be accepting of one another. All we have to do is just give each other space and either be in that spectrum or outside of it. It's really, really easy to do. And the more authentic we are to ourselves, the easier it is to be able to be authentic in the outside world. I mean, I still get uncomfortable and triggered and I get introverted and things like that. But I just realized that I can hold my own space in a crowd of people or any location wherever I am. And so when I recognize that I am the master of my own energy, even though it's being pulled in so many different directions, I make the choice to come back to the center point of my gravity, which is in the heart chakra. And that's where yours is too. And so when we recognize that all we have to do is connect our minds to our hearts and then let that be the guide, our vision, our mystic ways of life opens up. And we get to see that it's not about carrying the weight of some unaligned ego within ourselves and those of others, because we all have our own programming. We've all grown up. We've all seen and done and tasted and smelt and felt all different things, yet we all feel the exact same ways. We just think we're all different, but really we're not. It's just recognizing that we all have a different rhythm. I like to call it a swagger. We all have our own swagger, and it's just about finding whose energy is fun to dance with, because we're all dancing with each other's energy. Carrie. Love you, girl. So anyway, on this lovely Sunday, I just wanted to share a little bit and say hi, and that I love you, and that this life is really not heavy. It's the flow of the ether in which we are guiding and being guided through that feels good. If we feel resistance in the channel, then that means there's something we need to take a look at, not to put that responsibility on someone else. That is when we can be cool. Like, we can even be in a community of people and not engage, but just be cool with everybody. Like, seriously, like why would we not just be cool with everybody? I mean, it makes life so much better just to recognize someone's energy and be like, okay, I see you. And then we shift our own energy. We don't even have to put our own subconscious mind programming onto other people so that it becomes theirs. If you think about it, I had this realization the other day that when two people are connected and one person yawns and the other person yawns, and we joke around and talk about how yawning is contagious. No, it's contagious because we're literally in an energy swirl, a spectrum with that person. So when that person's brain needs more oxygen, therefore it yawns, that person literally pulls on the other person's brain frequency to pull their oxygen to cause them to yawn too. So when we realize that we're making each other's brain frequency yawn just by being next to each other, think about what our thoughts do. All that we think other people pick up on. Telepathy is a real thing. And so one thing I've noticed is that people pick up telepathy with me really quick, really quick. Because I think a lot of stuff and then bam, they'll just start saying it. And I'm like, whoa. So that's taught me to slow down, to recognize the power of my own thoughts. Because if people are saying the things I'm thinking instantly, like nanoseconds of time from my brain to their mouth, then I realize whoa, how I think and feel can go into other people's minds, and then they think it's their own thoughts. That's when we get into this energy entanglement. And so whenever we're out and about and we're in crowds of people and stuff, and maybe you don't feel all that good, well, think about it. It's all the energy that's right around. So that's why it's good to recognize that we don't have to have anxiety about people or things or any of that just because it's a trigger. Anxiety is a trigger in the solar plexus. That's why we feel it in the gut. Therefore, and then the human psyche gets attached to that feeling. And if there's something that's out of alignment, well, then we think it's anxiety. And then, it goes off into this other thing. And so just recognizing that we're all just sharing energy, and it's about how mindful we are of our own energy. If we're not happy within, if we're hating on other people all the time, we're not happy with our life and our job, and that's all we think about all the time, well, that's what the people around you are thinking about all the time too. And myself, I say you, I mean me. And so I recognize that it's just about being more of the mastery of my own thoughts, my own energy, and then it evolves more in love, and then the manifests start to raise frequency. I love you to the moon, family. Aloha.